Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Robin.
And I'm still Troy.
And we are back at home for a short period of time before we get on our next cruise that we're pretty excited about. We're going to have some things coming to you about that one. But in the meantime, we've got a topic that we've actually been wanting to talk about for a little while, and that is transatlantic cruises,
Back
right?
to the old transatlantic.
Yes. So for any of you that's watched any of our previous videos, we were on our first transatlantic last year in May. We left Galveston on the
Voyager?
Voyager of the Seas, yes. Voyager of the Seas.
She think I don't be paying attention.
He doesn't always. But anyways, we were on the Voyager of the Seas and we left out of Galveston, which is our home port, which made it very convenient. And we went to Barcelona, Spain. We stayed in Barcelona for 6 nights, had a great time, and then flew back to
talking
Galveston.
about, you saying it awful fast, like we didn't have an incredible time.
We did. We did. We had a great time, which led us into today's video because we are not going to be on a transatlantic for the whole year of 2025.
Yeah.
But we did decide that we wanted to go ahead and book another one sooner rather than later and use that as our opportunity to go back to Europe. But we're going to do it differently this time. We're going to not do what we did last time. We're going to do it a little differently. And there's a specific reason why, right?
Yeah, of course.
And?
Yes, there is.
A couple of our friends that were on the transatlantic cruise with us ended up coming back. They loved it so much that a few months after we got back, they found a really excellent idea and put this thing together. Told us about it in December.
It was December. Yeah, they told us in December. They said, "Hey, take a look at this. This is what we're doing, guys."
They booked it.
Yeah, they booked it. They snatched it up and sent it to us just for, I guess, gloating. Maybe they were gloating.
No, they wanted us to join them. But we weren't ready to book another transatlantic that time. We didn't know what this year was going to bring us. We've had a lot going on between our cruises and getting stuff done, still trying to sell the house. You'll see we're going to start wearing the same clothes over and over again because
not me, she might.
we've gotten rid of so much stuff as we're downsizing our lives. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy. So we weren't ready to book this yet. But we were, in the back of our minds, we were still going, they told us about these 2 cruises.
Sure was a good time.
Yeah, we just, we kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it. And I kept looking. And then I did look at one more time and decided that I was ready to pull the trigger.
Well, that's when they sent you that crazy offer.
Well, no, they didn't send that to me. I found it whenever I was looking. Yeah. So I'm going to get into that in the pricing. So why don't you, do you want to give props to who had told us about it?
No, I'm not going to call their names out yet. Not yet.
So we're telling you this story because these types of cruises don't come around all the time. Unlike ones that go out of your home port, or any of the ports that you can travel to that are on a set schedule, 5 days, 4 days, 7 days, whatever it is, those are on a regular schedule. So if you don't know what transatlantic cruises are, they're ones that basically cross the Atlantic.
Right.
And then you have the Trans-Pacific. You also just have regional cruises where it stays in your basic region, but it might change a home port, such as in the United States, it might go from Florida all the way to California through the Panama Canal, and those are
shortcutting in some other
way. Or whatever. So these repositioning cruises, they're all called repositioning cruises, but like I said, you have regional, you have transatlantic, you have trans-Pacific. So any of these that you're going to be looking for, they're not going to come around on a regular schedule. They're not always going to be the ship that you want. You have to be a little bit more flexible whenever you're thinking about this, but really it's totally worth it. If you've known of anybody that's wanted to do one or has done one and you've thought about it, but you haven't done it, this might be your opportunity.
Pull the trigger.
That's right. Now, let's go ahead and let's back up. So the ones that we did in May, the reason why we're doing this one a little bit differently is because we decided that we don't really like to fly long haul flights. And the long haul flight that we took back from Barcelona cost more than the cruise to get there.
Right.
That was kind of a gut punch.
Well, it was an eye-opener too.
It was. We learned a lot because of it, and we learned that we don't want to do that again. So instead of spending $1,600 to fly back one way, or even possibly doing a round trip and taking us back over to Europe or wherever we're going, we decided that we did want to go ahead and do this back-to-back cruise. So the neat thing about this is that the cruise is going to leave Miami, and then it's going to be in Barcelona for 2 nights, and then it's going to come back to Galveston.
Coming on back to Galveston.
So we're going to give you the particulars about it because this is coming up. These cruises are still for sale. There are still cabins, and you may decide that you want to do this. And if you work remotely or if you're retired, this is really an economical way to go over to Europe for a couple days and to have a month on the ocean
and have a great time too.
Yeah, so
two different ships, two different
yes.
cruise lines.
So why don't you take it over and tell them about the
Well, you're
first
going to
one?
tell them about the first one. Huh?
Okay, I'll tell them about the
first one.
Okay, so we live in the Houston area, so we're going to have to fly. It will be a one-way flight on this one, but we're going to go ahead and fly over to Miami. Now, this cruise is on the Sun Princess. It is leaving March 5th, 2026. So not that far away, really, if you think about it in the grand scheme. It's less than a year.
To me, it's like 100 years. To her, everything. It's like right around the corner.
Well, in the world of planning for cruises, oftentimes people book them for a year, sometimes even 2 years out. So in the world of cruising, it's really not that far, being less than a year. But it's going to leave Miami March 5th, 2026. The Sun Princess will be the first time that we've ever been on Princess Cruises.
We're going to go out to Florida and surprise my mom.
Yeah,
we're going to go out a couple of days early.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
I shouldn't say that.
Does she watch these videos? No.
Yeah, she watches. She watches.
Hi, Mom. Okay, so the Sun Princess is going to be our first time getting on the Princess ships. We, up to this point, have been Carnival and Royal, just going out of Galveston. So that's going to be a totally different thing for us.
Yeah.
The Sun Princess is also only a year old, a little over a year. By the time we get on it, she's going to be just over 2 years old. So really looking forward to that. She's got 21 decks. The guest capacity is about 4,300, give or take, and the crew capacity is about 1,600.
Right, and we hear a lot of good things about Princess.
A lot of people talk really, really good about Princess.
We want to see for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the one on the way back yet.
No. So once we get to Barcelona, as I said earlier, we're going to stay in Barcelona for 2 nights. And because it is only 2 nights, we are not planning on leaving the area. And we really love Barcelona anyway, so it's not not a hardship.
We might have to find a park and sleep on the bench out there.
Ooh, that'd be fun. We could do some content on that.
Nah.
Okay. Anyways, so then on the 21st, go ahead and take it away.
21st, we're going to come back. I think is it 14 or 15 days on the way back?
I think it's 14 days on the way out. It's 14 nights on the way out, 15 nights on the way back.
Okay, we're going to leave out of Barcelona again.
Yes,
We're going to leave out of Barcelona.
Very convenient.
On the Carnival Dream.
Yes.
And we're going to be coming back from there. And what else?
All the way to Galveston.
Yeah, all the way to Galveston. Instead of going back to Florida, we're going to be coming back into Galveston. So all we got to do is hop and find we got an Uber coming.
Yeah, we do have an Uber.
We got our self-made Uber coming to pick us up from Galveston at that point. So it's just, I don't think it can be any more convenient than.
No, it really isn't. And we haven't been on the Dream yet. We do have 2 cruises booked this year on the Dream later on this year.
Okay.
But the Dream is not a huge ship.
It's 2008.
2008 it was built in. I believe it's been refurbished since then.
It's got, I guess, a capacity of about 3,600
about
people.
3,700.
1,400 on the crew.
Yep, and it's 15 decks. So it's a little smaller than the Sun Princess. But we, after spending 28 nights on the Jewel, which is one of the smaller ships in the Royal fleet, we don't mind those small ships. We really, if you watched our video, Big Ship, Little Ship, we like the little ship.
And this is the Dream, correct?
Yes,
so it's the same size as the Breeze. We've been on the Breeze several times. So So it shouldn't be a super shock for us. And
so speaking of shocks, let's talk about the price tag for this. Yeah, let's talk about the price tag for this. So if you've never done a transatlantic, they are typically, not always, but in the same line that you would normally cruise on, because keep in mind, something to be, reasonably priced or whatever is all relative to your budget.
Right.
So if you're used to traveling up here, then, you travel that same cruise line, it's probably going to be a little cheaper than what you're used to. If you're used to traveling down here on a budget line, then it's going to be in the same realm. If you try to change your lines and go up on a more expensive line than what you're used to, obviously then it's going to cost you a little bit more maybe than what you're used to.
Right.
But typically the transatlantic or repositioning cruises are more cost effective than the same cruise.
And we like cost effective.
Yeah, we do. We're budget people. But yeah, so you're going to usually get a little bit cheaper experience because not everybody is going to be able to get on a cruise ship for 14, 15, sometimes even all the way up to 20 nights to reposition. And they know that more than likely you're going to have to fly home or get another cruise. So if they price these things the way they would a normal round trip, they would be pricing themselves out of the reach of a lot of people to do these. So they're going to be a lot more cost effective.
And I guess if you're totally clueless on what a transatlantic is, they can always take a look at our other video.
Yeah, always. We enjoyed that transatlantic.
Right.
So
fun times.
So let's talk about what it cost us. Now this is for interior cabins on both cruises. This is with nothing special added in. This is not counting our Wi-Fi or I cannot talk. Gratuities, because we will take care of those on the ship. And this is without any drink package because we don't drink. And this is without any specialty dining. So this is literally just getting your butt on the boat. And I say boat jokingly because everybody knows it's a ship. But so you want to get yourself onto the ship. Anything over and above that is going to be extra, and you need to budget for that.
Right.
So not only do you have to get yourself home if you only take a one-way transatlantic or repositioning cruise, but you have to account for those other costs and anything that you do in port. So the cost on these can really go up. They're typically not bad for us because we do work while we're on the ship, and so we don't indulge in a lot of the extras that somebody might if they were only like vacationing.
Yeah, we might do a specialty restaurant or something
here or there,
on the cruise, here or there, but we don't buy the packages for everything. We're not buying every excursion and every drink package and all the extra stuff. If it's something that you like, do you? Yeah. For us, it's and maybe one day, but not yet.
Yeah, we're probably going to get into more of the specialty dining to do the reviews on the food. And do those kind of things. We also want to do more port videos. So those things will come along later. But again, this is our lifestyle. This is not a vacation for us. This is our lifestyle and it's our business. So it's just a matter of where your happy place is. So our happy place is as long as we can get on the ship. So the Sun Princess interior room for the whole cruise, like I said, not counting anything extra, was $14, and I'm looking to make sure I'm giving you the right information, $14.88.
Now, for two people.
That is for two people. Right. That is pretty phenomenal. And especially considering the fact that, like I said, Sun Princess is only a couple-year-old ship by the time we get on it, we think that was really, really a good price. So we're really pleased with that.
Yeah, and it's a good new experience. It'll be a new cruise line, new experience for us, and it's a brand new ship, pretty much. So,
and we can start earning loyalty status with with Princess on this Sun travel. So we're looking forward to it. Now, here's where it gets a little crazy, and not everybody's going to have the same pricing that I got. But because of the fact that we have cruised with Carnival and we do have a little bit of status, you do get a little bit of a discount whenever you have status that just comes along with your pricing. Right. But we've also gambled a little bit in the Carnival cruises. So they do send me the occasional, not phenomenal cruise offers, but we do occasionally get some cruise offers that offer us additional discount or onboard credit. Now, our Carnival cruise coming back all the way to Galveston, which again is most convenient for us, was only $1,228. Now, that is cheaper than the Sun Princess. It is an older ship. And you're like, okay, that's reasonable. But here's where it gets good.
Better. It's very getting better.
Well, we get good, then we get better. Because of the casino offer, we're also getting $500 worth of onboard credit. So that is $500 they're giving back to us. Right. So out of that 12,
a rebate, like a tax refund
that we can use on anything on the cruise ship. We can use it for specialty dining. We can use it for our Wi-Fi. We can use it for anything. So that $1,228 cost for that cruise coming back from Barcelona is now basically $728 because they gave us that money back. That is, that is a phenomenal price. I know not everybody that's watching this, if you book it, you're not going to get that price, but
make some comments. We'll give you a little insight on how to get there.
Yeah, no doubt. But it actually gets even a little bit better than that. Even though Troy and I aren't drinkers, he'll have the occasional alcoholic drink, and I don't drink alcohol at all. I still do get some virgin drinks, virgin pina colada, bottled water, anything like that. Well, with the $500 of onboard credit, I also get free drinks in the casino. Yeah. So that adds just a little cherry on top. So that way we can go through there and get our drinks. And considering the length of time that we're going to be on the ship, it's going to be really awesome. Yeah. So we're pleased about this. We're super excited. Our friends, if you guys are, get a chance to watch this video, are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they put, because we did not tell them.
They'll watch it.
Yeah, we did not tell them at all. So
we snuck up on them the other night too at dinner.
We did. We live in the area, and we showed up to this restaurant and they were already there. So Cece
and David, we coming at you.
We're going to be on that cruise. So we're really excited. And we actually have a friend, a couple of friends too, that they're talking about getting on one leg. Yeah. I don't know that they're actually going to book it.
I think they'll book it.
We'll see. Now, the last thing I want to end off on these transatlantic cruises, other than take one.
Yeah.
It's a totally different vibe. You're not gonna get the same like high ridiculous energy that you're gonna get to where it's just kind of exhausting after a few days and you're ready to take a vacation from your vacation. You're going to get some people that are super chill, that are just having a good time, and such a wonderful vibe on these transatlantic.
It's not their first rodeo.
Most of them, no, not. Now, if you cannot get on this cruise or back-to-back cruise with us, even though we'd love to have you join us, I wanted to give you a couple suggestions. So I went on to Cruise Plum. There's several different cruise sites that you can go to where you can search all of the cruise lines simultaneously rather than going over to Carnival, going over to Princess, that's exhausting. You cannot do that. So go to Cruise Plum. You can go to Vacations to Go. There's several different ones that you can look up the cruises. You can book through them, but you don't have to.
Certainly, and we tell everybody about Shipmate. If you get a chance, download the Shipmate app. It's available on Android and iPhone also.
Yeah,
so
that's a great way to look up cruises and to keep track of not only your current cruises, your past cruises, all of that.
That's the only way I know where we're going is by looking it up in Shipmate.
I book them. I add them to our calendar. I add them to the Shipmate app, and then I remind him.
Then I say, no, we're going here.
So I wanted to tell anybody that's listening about some other cruises that are going to be coming up that you may want to consider if you're able to do transatlantic cruises.
And they're incredible.
And if you can do back-to-back cruises like this, where we're literally going to be on the cruise ships for a month with a 2-day layover in Barcelona, which is incredible. And so these ones that I'm going to tell you about are other ones in 2026. And let's see, I lied to you, 2025. I brought up 2025. So this gives you an idea of what you could do later on this year. And then there's going to be more because you're not always going to be able to find them to where they line up with such a short layover. Mm-hmm. But you might be able to find them to where you might have a couple weeks at an area or even a month. And if you're retired and or you work remotely, then this may be a way for you to be able to go over to Europe or wherever and enjoy some time and then be able to come back. Again, this type of travel is not for everybody.
Doing some moving around once you get over to Europe and see some things.
Yeah. So this just gives you an idea. So in July 12th of 2025, which is just coming up really soon, the Norwegian Star leaves New York and it goes to Iceland. Then it turns around and comes back. Now that's pretty rare. You're usually not going to see the same ship come right back. So it leaves Iceland and then comes back just 2 days later. So same thing like us in Barcelona. You would have 2 days in Iceland.
Except you won't be on the same ship instead of switching cruises.
Yes, you'd be on the same ship. You might even be able to book the same cabin if it's one that you really liked. That's incredible. Now, if you didn't want to turn around immediately and come right back from Iceland to go to New York, you were willing to stay in Iceland for a little bit longer, there is another cruise coming back from Iceland going to Boston. So you might have to fly into New York and then fly out of Boston to go home. But that is not going to be on the Celebrity Silhouette. So just those two options are really kind of nice. So you've got one to take you over there and two different ones to bring you back.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's Uber or Lyft.
Right, exactly. You got to shop them all. Then there's another one that I found that this one is actually in September, on September 13th. This one leaves Florida, Orlando, and it goes out on the Mardi Gras. It goes to Barcelona, Spain, and that's 14 nights. So again,
Carnival Mardi Gras, right?
Yep, Carnival Mardi Gras. So it leaves again on September 13th, 14 nights from Orlando to Barcelona. Now, same thing on this one. You can stay in Barcelona for a little bit, or you can stay in there for longer. It's all up to you. The Norwegian Jewel is coming back to to Miami, not Orlando. It's coming back to Miami, and it is coming back on October 15th. Or if you wanted to stay in Barcelona or just Europe in general, because you can stay there for up to 90 days before you have to leave the country.
The old shuffle.
The Union. You can come back the next day on the Mardi Gras. So the Mardi Gras is going out and coming back. But if you wanted to try a different ship, you could do the Norwegian Jewel. So that just gives you a couple of ideas.
Yeah, a couple of options.
And that's just for this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's just for this year. But you really got to open yourself up to other lines and other possibilities if you want to avoid those long haul flights and if you would rather be on a cruise ship for 2 more weeks as opposed to a flight for, 8, 9, 10 hours. Yeah. And possibly have a layover somewhere, which is only going to make that a little bit longer. So that is this is where our mind is going, and we're sharing this with you because this may open you up to other possibilities that you hadn't even thought about.
Yeah, it's one of those things that until you try it, I mean, you might have some reservations, but trust me, You're gonna have a great time.
Yes.
You're gonna have a great time.
Yes. So I think that's it. Please, if you like this video, if you got any good content out of it, any good knowledge, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel
There's your thumbs up, lady.
if you haven't already. We're going to be getting out some more stuff because, again, as we get this information, as we figure stuff out, we want to tell you about it. So thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it.
Dos dedos.
Bye.